Promise me. That together, the three of us will bring about a new age of peace.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be looking at a game that really surprised me. 100% surprised me. I did not think that I would really enjoy this game. I didn't think that it would be as addictive as it actually is. And the whole reason I bought this game was because I saw a trailer that actually looked pretty cool. And I saw this one person battling hordes and hordes of armies of soldiers. And I thought, you know what? That actually looks like fun. Really looks like fun. And the reason that I say I didn't think I would enjoy this game is because this is not really something that I would normally play. So I was a little bit hesitant, but I purchased it, installed it, started playing it, and one thing that I was seriously impressed with this game is how polished it is. I know AAA games are not the most polished games these days, and it is quite frustrating, but this game, well done to the developers. They've really brought out a polished experience. It's locked solid at 75 frames because that's what I set it at. I could go even higher, but it just runs so well, and this is on a widescreen monitor and it runs really well, so well done. It has a story, obviously, and the story, to be honest, didn't really grab me that much, but it is based off a real world event, I guess you could say, in China, where this was the Battle of the Armies, and apparently it really took place, this story, so that was interesting to me. I didn't think that was a real thing, and yeah, quite a good story. The voiceovers, I know I am in English, and the voiceovers, to be honest, were pretty average. It kind of sounded like AI, but not really. I don't think it's AI, but yeah, it was a bit hard to get excited about the voices because I think that the atmosphere and maybe the voice acting wasn't so exciting. But outside of the voice acting, outside of the story, which some people may love the story, but for me so far, I'm literally only about 8 or so hours into the game. The story has been okay, and it has been good so far, but that is not the highlight of this game. The highlight of this game is the response of the controller in your hands and the button pressing and the latency and how efficient this game is. I don't know what the word would be. It's more like how quickly it responds to your moves and how quickly you can block and defend and attack. It's really responsive and makes it extremely playable and a hell of a lot of fun. A hell of a lot of fun. I don't think I've had this much fun in a video game for a substantial amount of time, especially this type of video game. And I must say that the moves that you can do, how you can hoard off a massive amount of enemies at once, how you can throw yourself in the deep end and being surrounded by hundreds of soldiers at once and fight your way out against all odds. Man, the feeling that you get from that is absolutely insane. I found myself finishing work. This is the ultimate chill out game if you just want to feel like a badass and just get involved and just destroy a hell of a lot of enemies very quickly. But not only that, you actually need to think about how you're fighting. It's not just a button masher. You do need to be able to learn the skills. It'll be very difficult to not be able to block and defend and protect yourself and then counterattack. You need to use all those skills to your advantage. I think these games, this is the first one I've ever played of Dynasty Warriors, and I do believe that from what I've heard in the past, some of these games have sort of lost their way a little bit. They've just turned into button mashes and you haven't really been able to die. And it's still fun, but this game kind of brings in all the awesome elements of a range of different games, to be honest. A bit of Elden Ring, Black Myth Wukong, and it even keeps its own style and its own story, I guess. It keeps its own flair, and it's true to the series from what other people have been saying. And I haven't played any others, so I can't tell you, but the game feels authentic. And that's great when you've got such a game that's called Origins. You think it goes back to where it came from. This even adds more on top of just gameplay. Obviously you've got progression for your swords, for your weapons. You get a whole range of weapons. Some really cool ones like these 2 rings you can hold in each hand, which are blades. You can throw them around and just slash double-handed. Gauntlets, swords, spears, and then you can use those items and build them up and progress them, and you can progress yourself as a soldier. Use money to buy swords. It is very in-depth for a game that seems quite basic to watch. It is very, very, very in-depth, and I was really surprised by that. I thought maybe an 8-hour campaign and that's about all I'm going to get out of this. Some people have said that it's taken them 20 hours. 20 hours to sort of do all the side missions, and even longer. And I was extremely surprised by that. Now, one thing about this game, I thought it was expensive, to be honest. It was a hefty price on Steam, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to spend that much money because I thought maybe there wasn't much of a story, maybe there wasn't much of a campaign, but I was very happy to see that there is all of that and more. So it's quite in-depth and a hell of a lot of fun. So you do go up against hordes of enemies. You do have some friendlies that can help you as well, and you do get times where you can be those friendlies and fight as them as well. Halfway through the game, I don't want to give away too much of the story, but you do have to pick a side at some stage between several different armies and take sides to a degree. So that was a surprise to me, which really brought a different level to the game. And I think after maybe an hour or 2 is really when this game starts to open up and starts to make more sense. Because you're not just running into an army blind. You do have to be strategic. You do have to protect your team. You do have to protect your soldiers and your lords, because once they die, you lose. So you need to be strategic about how you fight. You can't just run in, and you can it will show you a map of the war, I guess, of what you're running into, and you've got to recruit your armies along the way and then take them into the end battle, which I thought was really cool. It's more of a thinking game than just a button masher. So hey, I must say I am seriously impressed with this game, to be honest. This was a hell of a lot of fun. Something that I didn't think was coming, and I'm glad I played this game. I'm glad I found it, and I'm probably going to be playing it for a fair bit longer, because once you start playing it, very, very, very hard to put it down. The characters are great. The voice acting is not so good. Your person is a mute, he doesn't talk. So that can be a little bit, I don't know, strange. Usually I'm so used to your character having the ability to talk. So yeah, they do speak, but they never verbalize. So it is kind of weird that way. So the pros and cons for me: game plays absolutely fantastic, massive pro. The graphics look great. It is extremely well optimized. It just flows, this game. Once you get into it and once it opens up, you'll just want to keep playing. The maps are very good looking. It is a challenge. It's not just button mash. There was a time where I played it. I wanted to beat this boss and I was I died so many times. It was almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd played for like 3 hours. My thumb was killing me because I had hit buttons so much, but I couldn't go to bed until I killed this dude. And I ended up killing him after it being a massive challenge, and it was extremely rewarding. And that takes me back to the old school of gaming. The old school of gaming and just enjoying it. So I thought that was great. The cons, the voice acting, not so great, but you kind of get that. I understand this is a Chinese-based game. I don't know if they're Chinese developers, but they've done a really great job. The voice acting could have been better. The story, it's not too enthralling, but if you're from China and you understand the history, it probably would be quite a good story. And it was interesting, I must say. I'm not all the way through it yet, but yeah, it's yeah, it was interesting. Outside of that, there's not too many other cons, to be honest. It doesn't take up a huge amount of space on your hard drive, which I thought was impressive. The audio is great. The music is fantastic. It's hard to find cons, to be honest. It probably would get repetitive over time. I can see that happening, but I think there's enough like flair to this game. There's enough progression to sort of keep you coming back. You are doing the same thing over and over again, but there's different ways of doing it, different ways of progression. From what I've heard, you can also come back after finishing the game and start back where you've chosen your team, and then you can take another path. So there's multiple endings as far as I know. I haven't done it yet. That's what I've been told. So overall, I think this is a fantastic game. I really enjoyed it. And I'm going to keep playing it, to be honest, because it is a hell of a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Grab this game if you can. If you're interested in these games, I think you'll enjoy it. And even if you're not, like I wasn't, but I just liked the premise. I wanted to feel like a badass killing a heap of enemies. And this game really fits the bill, plus more. Extremely impressed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little review. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you wish. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.
Turn the tape. Concentrate. All my might. Go on.